One hears stories told that to oneself, the hearer, are manifestly false, and one hears stories as to the truth or falsehood of which one is in doubt, and stories again which seem to be partly true and partly untrue, but one also hears that of the truth of which doubt seems to be possible. Anthony Trollope. The Christopher Boys' Communion by David Mamet, starring Rebecca Pidgeon, Clark Gregg, David Paymer, John Pirrucello, and Fionnula Flanagan. A Manhattan apartment. A large box of flowers on the table. Joan and Alan are a middle-aged, well-to-do couple. Alan comes in from another room.
It was Father Paul.
I'm sorry?
It was Father Paul.
Father Paul. And he said what?
He called to say he was thinking of us. He couldn't be here now, but...
Of course.
Because of the...
Yes, the Christophers.
The Christopher Boys' First Communion.
Yes.
Well, that's a happy day for them.
Yes.
Where's...
Making a call in there.
He understood.
What?
Father Paul.
Of course he understood. Understood what?
That we couldn't come.
That I...
That you, yes. And I hope that you don't hold it against me.
No. Hold it against you?
Yes.
No. That we didn't go?
Yes.
Why would I hold it against you? That we couldn't go? How could we go?
No, of course.
How often did you go? Church was my choice. It wasn't yours. That's all right.
He said, yes, it was the first time you'd missed Sunday Mass.
When we were in the city?
In the city, yes. Not on the island.
Sunday Mass. But what? Was I going to...
No, of course.
To ruin the services by my appearance?
I don't think you would have ruined the...
Or let the sympathy...
He understands you feel that, but...
Mar the Christopher's happiness. What a selfish act. As much as one might have yearned to take communion.
No, he understood it as a sacrifice. That's why he called.
He said that?
No, but I know. That's why he called. And said he hoped you would come, as he knows you want very much to. If not to church, then to the vestry. Any time at all. Or he would, of course, come here. He said that he would be here now, but the communion.
I need to send them the flowers.
To the church?
No, to the Christophers.
The committee will take care of
No, these. Not to the church. To the Christophers, these flowers. Give me the card.
We could send them to their apartment.
It was my father's. What was my father's?
Oh, wait. Here.
What?
Here. The crucifix. You were going to wrap it with the flowers. Do you want me to send it?
No, we can't send it.
Without the card?
What would it mean without the card? Put it back in the box. It was Father Paul.
Yes.
Who called. No, who else could it be?
It was Father Paul.
I beg your pardon.
Do we know anything, Mr. Stone?
No, I was giving instructions to my office. All right. You met the girl. You knew the girl.
We knew her.
Was that your priest on the phone?
We have to deal with the arrangements, Alan.
For?
The floral committee.
Yes.
They found that name so dear.
Who?
People in the building.
Found what, dear?
My parish work. Now there's an old-fashioned term. But what do they do? And I never criticized them for their political or social, values. Some special arrangements. I'd Sunday mornings have them in the building lobby, just the short time, the special arrangements. The flowers for the committee, I took them to church. Well, it made me feel good to be strong enough to see their patronizing smiles. Oh, she's a Christian, she's on her way to church. I'd see them Sunday mornings in the building lobby smiling in what, I believe, they thought was an endorsement of my right to worship. Our churchwoman. These sick fools. As if I'm their contribution to diversity. How quaint you are. Their God, they tell me, is the sunset. Have you heard that? Nature is my God. Son of a bitches. And one of them said to me, who was it? it was Meg Whitton who ostensibly
Joan.
says she is a Christian, that making conversation, where were we? On the roof, and she was reading history and told me that the Roman women, the bored patrician class, discovered this miracle man and embraced him as a fad. You understand? Like past lives therapy or chanting. This miracle healer, you see, from Nazareth, that if you quote, believed in him, you'd live forever. Bored women. They had a fad. She'd learned from her reading. No, Alan, we can't send them anything.
The flowers?
No.
The crucifix?
We can't send them anything.
You knew the girl?
Yes. I saw her.
When?
Is it important?
Yes.
Why?
Or I won't know if it's important until I have the answers.
No, I understand that. All I care, and I'll answer you the best I can, and... Wait, and I want you to understand that my answers to your questions all must be in aid of helping my son, for my memory can be as clear or
Mrs. Gale.
Erroneous as required.
Joan.
Oh, can I not say that? I'm sorry, but we're correct, me paying him. And I need you, Mr. Stone, to reassure me because...
Joan.
Wait, because if you aren't willing to coach me in whatever answers will serve to release my son, then we'll get someone who will. And so the question is not when in truth did this or that occur, but what will free my son? And that's what we're paying you for.
Mrs. Gale, it's an easy case to lose. The world would say Lincoln couldn't have won that case, while my time would have cost you a fortune. You live with a tragedy, and I buy a new boat.
Is that what you do with your fees?
You are not incorrect, Mr. Gale, and I can and I will forgive you most any impertinence. Let's call it bluntness during this time of grief. I will respond with courtesy, which you are paying me for, and I hope with understanding. You are grief-stricken and could not be otherwise. Differently from your wife, you're sane enough to know it.
And she's not?
Well, she's the boy's mother. If he were attacked physically, she would fight to the death and die to defend him. If she were alone, she would likewise be scheming with me to defend him. You and she have to decide that you will leave me to defend the boy, and that you will defend her.
To defend her? From?
From the necessity of making some dreadful decisions. How perceptive am I? How smart are you?
Am I?
To know that you need to hire a Jew. That didn't occur to you? Look at the processes of the mind working below reason. Do you see? The mob wants to destroy your son. They don't want to let justice be done. They want to lynch him. They want to drag him castrated from the jail and tie him to a tree. These are the people you will find in the jury box. Who else could they be? Well, I'm going to work with them. I'm going to get them to...
To change their minds?
No, not to change their minds, no, but to get them to mitigate the punishment and never reflect that their minds have changed.
To mitigate the punishment, what does that mean?
We know what that means. Is that possible?
Yes.
Is it probable?
I don't know.
When will we know?
When I have enough information to sit down and think it out. Well, you, believe me, I understand. You sit there powerless on one side or another of madness. You're human. You want to keep control, and you have no control. You, like the jury, have to face the untenable thought that your son Michael committed a monstrous act, that nothing can alter that, and he may likely be imprisoned for life.
Perhaps he should.
Well, perhaps he should, but you have elected to defend him. Now, you don't know how. I will defend him for you. Your choice is made exactly as you would that of a surgeon. When the operation starts, you have to let him do his work. You knew the girl.
Yes, they might say that we knew her.
No, that's not my question.
That's the import of your question, isn't it? Isn't it?
Joan.
We knew her from the building, and
Joan.
We know her from the school.
They were at school together.
Yes, that's in the report. My question...
Are they going to set bail?
They will probably deny it, or they'll set it high, very high, which I believe they will. I have my office...
When?
As soon as they reach the judge.
They?
My office is working on it now.
Yes, they're working on it.
That's right. You knew the girl.
Well, he did it, of course. Michael, shall we start with that?
We don't...
Why, of course.
Let's say what it is, shall we? I'll appreciate it truly, truly, for you to tell us what one does.
What
we're supposed to do apart from this monstrous charade.
Of the legal process.
That's right. We're,
Joan.
Wait a second, Alan, paying you to lie and confuse and for whatever tricks you know how to do. That's what we're paying you for. Happy to do it.
I'm very sorry. Joan.
No, believe me, I forgive you.
I don't want you to forgive me. I want you to free my son and to tell us what to do to help, not to employ the legal process, but to free my son, whatever it costs.
My fees...
No, I'm saying whatever it costs. You understand me. You were asking about the girl. Yes, we knew. Of course, we knew her.
She came here?
She never came here, no. We knew her from the school, from the block party. They called it the block party. It was just the building.
But she never came to your apartment.
Why? Is that your question? Yes, you're right.
That?
She was a Jew, and we did not, and we do not, live in that world. Will that help you? You understand, do not believe in...
In intermarriage?
In miscegenation. There. Are we done? My son was, what would you say, seeing this little Jewish girl, and that went on, and where's the harm? That bad enough? But our families inhabit different spheres. We do not have Jewish friends over for Christmas, and we do not perform enchantment at their Passover feasts and mime self-congratulations. Some do. God bless them. We live among them. The girl was never here.
Never?
I told you no.
She came one time.
No, you never told me that.
I told you. I found them.
When?
When I came back.
From...
I don't know. From the island.
Where?
In his room.
You told me a girl.
Yes, that's right.
You never told me it was she. You never said Jenny from the building.
I didn't want to speak badly of her.
I don't understand.
He means had he named her, I might have said that little Jewish tart.
Would you have?
Do we need to know? Or are you just a student of human nature that I might have said, this little slut of a Jew, or which I might, save my greater concern for my son then or now, and say, slut of a Jew lured my son into the park, and now he's going to die in prison.
That need not necessarily happen.
Will it happen?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
No. My question is how best to defend him, and the answer is, as I understand it now, if you want an answer now...
I do.
Only one of two ways, and at some point fairly quickly, we'll have to choose one. Through his mental health, or, as loathsome as it sounds, by attacking the girl.
Doesn't sound loathsome to me, at all. Do you understand? It sounds bloody practical. Does that make me a monster? I couldn't care less. Which will free my son?
On the one hand...
What?
On the one hand...
Yes. Wait, and I'll go to law school and learn to say on the other hand. Thank you. We no longer require your services. Send me your bill. All right, she tried to give him drugs.
Did she?
They didn't. Did they give him a drug screen?
No, I don't...
At the arrest? She took drugs.
Did she?
I'm sure she did. It's likely they did. They all do.
How would we know?
Not sure that we have to.
And so we indict her.
Do you want him to go away? Forever? A monstrous act requires a monster. We have two candidates.
But how could it be she?
Who does that leave? She is promiscuous. She uses, she takes, she deals in drugs. She uses drugs. The what? Opiates, heroin, crack cocaine. What do they take? They're all around the school. Someone deals them. Where do they get them?
They get them from the janitors,
Someone makes the first connection. Someone is the bellwether.
That's quaint.
Well, someone does. Do you remember when we were in school? Who told us first about the house on 55th Street whose father was a doctor,
yes,
or had access to this or that apartment, or had alcohol, or someone always is the central figure. And look here. Isn't it racism to say The others were the drug dealers, the custodians, and she was merely the... Why? Because she's white? Is she immune?
The school.
Indict the school. What do you care? Isn't it obvious they've failed? For all their reputation, they pay their staff nothing. The teachers aren't certified. We give the children to them and see them again. 12 years later, what do we see? They know not to pronounce the G in Stadt. They gash their flesh. They turn away from God. We see their arrogance and their sick assurance, but what do we ignore?
Is this the case for Michael? Is this the case for Michael?
They've become savage, our children. They're radicalized into a tribe, no different than a gang. It is a gang. Some in this society become the leaders. Wait, what do leaders do? They lead to what? To excesses in the name of the tribe. It's easy to see when they're black or Hispanic. We call them gangs. But it's the same with us. And we could, I'll tell you what, turn this easily into a free-for-all. We could turn it into a referendum.
On?
On? We attack them, let them name it.
Who?
The schools.
But it's absurd.
Alan, that's the point. When you have the other side screaming, that's absurd, unfair, or monstrous, you're winning. Make them say these people are insane, not the act. Not the act, not his act, but our defense. Make them respond to it. One person on that jury, just one. That's all you need. People are fools. Someone is the leader.
Of?
That group at the school.
Is there one?
Of course there is.
How do you know?
I know because you can't disprove it. Someone's the leader. Should she be debarred?
The girl?
Yes.
Why? Why the girl?
Because we need her.
It's absurd.
That's right.
Because she's Jewish?
Why not? Why not? I brought you to a standstill, didn't I? Didn't I? We never say it. We let it be implied.
You want us to make a case against the girl?
Not us, no. Concerned members of the community, it may be, come forward reluctantly. The staff say at the school that the girl...
Why would they say it?
The teachers, do you know what they earn?
They'll trace it to us.
No, they won't.
And so we ruin her reputation.
She's dead.
Will anyone listen?
You did.
You cannot do that to the girl.
She's dead.
And to her memory.
She's dead.
Her family.
What, are they human beings? How will it profit them for our son to spend the rest of his life in jail or die? Do you know? They can still do that. Do you have an answer?
I will not let you do it.
How are you going to stop me? What? Will you divorce me? And what? Go to the press? Which is killing your son. Do you read the papers? Or were they being fair? Because that's their job when they labeled him the monster. And good-willed, credentialed academics commented on his mother's, these savages, with no intent to defame or bring greater grief to his parents and say his parents are to blame. They're killing my son. Is that who you want to conciliate? Those swine. And they call him a monster. She was giving him drugs. She corrupted him. The girl. Father Paul will testify that he was a good boy. He was a good young man. He'll break the seal of the confessional.
He would?
What have we done for his church, our family?
Do you want me to say that to him?
Doesn't need to be said.
Joan?
Do you think they are less corrupt than anyone else in this mistake of a world?
The church? Your church?
Not the church, not my church. No, him, a human being.
You want me to ask him to lie?
Oh, God, is there no one here but me?
Do you, Joan? Wait. That he'd lie for us.
Watch, that's right. How Michael, Michael, he said in confession he was tortured by shame that the girl had corrupted him. Not just the drugs, his spirit. She mocked him. She mocked our religion. She induced him to do things he...
No.
No what?
I won't do it.
Do you have a plan? I'm talking to you. Or would you like to be done with the whole thing, and how would that work? I'll understand your silence as contempt. Do you want to correct me?
I won't go to Father Paul.
He came to us.
When?
When he needed money.
He came to us for support. For the church.
Why did he come to us?
Because he thought we could help.
Was he ashamed to beg?
I don't think Father Paul was...
He sent us the letter about the new building. Was that begging?
I won't go to him.
You'd hire that Jewish lawyer to pull this or that trick which wouldn't work, but you won't support me.
What you're asking is immoral.
You were making love to that woman in Venice, in the hotel, in the moonlight. Do you remember that? Who was that woman? Do you remember her name?
Yes.
And she was very beautiful. And here we are.
I can't let you do that to the girl.
I'm sorry.
For? For what?
For wishing you dead. But someone has to keep the thing together. What if I'd act like a man and storm off as men do and leave the woman with it? Maybe I'll do that. Does that terrify you? And let you determine if you'll be a man or a worthless coward, without the wonderful drug of panic. And fortunate me, if I could walk away. But I could not do it to my son. And so I revolt you. Poor me.
The crucifix?
The crucifix, yes. I wanted to give them the crucifix, which had been my father's. I was looking for it. When we put something precious somewhere safe, we always say, I'll certainly remember that I put it here. But when we come to look for it, we can't recall the process of thought that led to our choice. And so we've lost the object, which was so important to us. Which was so important to us.
Because it was your father's.
Yes. But it's true of anything, isn't it, Father Paul, that we invest it with meaning?
But you found it.
I found it. When you come across it in the last place you look, you think, why would I have placed it here? You can't remember, and you feel a fool for having made that choice. But you would feel that wherever you'd hidden it.
Where you'd hidden it?
No, I won't say hidden it. I wanted to keep it safe. We so want to pass something on. My father, I think you know, do you know, was raised by the Jesuits.
Yes, I know that.
I asked him if he ever thought he'd had a call, and he laughed.
Why did he laugh?
Because, and I understood it.
How old were you?
15, 16.
You were very close.
Yes.
Not with your mother.
Not with her, no, I don't think.
Your father laughed when you asked him if he had a call.
That's right.
Why?
Because he thought it impossible he could be good enough.
But he brought you to religion.
Yes.
To live as a believing Catholic.
Yes, he did.
As he was.
Yes, he was.
And you've been a good daughter of the church all your life and a supporter of the church.
Thank you.
And so you need not be reluctant to come to your church for your support and comfort. I would say what little there is, but there is, I believe, much comfort open to us. The good tradition teaches never to speak in the presence of grief. We say, he sends the cross, he sends the strength to bear it. But perhaps he only sends the cross. And grief is but the anguish of our weakness, which is our lack of belief. All of those years I've known you and your family, I watched you pray, and I knew you prayed in truth, to believe, to be made worthy. And now you've been chosen to be tested. Because you could bear the cross? We don't know. Because you had sinned? We don't know. So I can't tell you. But I know the one thing, which is the surest thing I know. The heart of Jesus bleeds for you.
I was so wretched that I couldn't come to Mass.
I know you were.
And
I think you were relieved.
How can you say that?
Is it true?
How do you know that?
I've been a priest for many years.
No, I couldn't come to confession. Do you know why?
I think I do. You can confess to me now if you wish.
I can't.
You already have.
I could not take the sacrament.
Because?
I could not vow to go and sin no more. Do you know why?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's murder in your heart.
That's right. If I could, I would kill everyone who wants to hurt my son. If I can, I will destroy anyone who stops me from helping him.
How can you help him?
I can help him by presenting an alternative view. The newspapers exploit a monstrosity every day until we become inured to it, and then they find a new one. Did the old act become less monstrous? No. They've just redirected our attention to whet our savagery and call it the pursuit of justice. When they move on, does that mean they now endorse the old act? No. They've just moved on. How can we get them to move on?
Tell me how.
We divert their attention.
Is that easy to do?
Yes.
How do you do it?
We shock them.
With what?
With that girl.
I don't understand.
With the monstrous things she did.
That the girl did?
Yes.
What monstrous things?
To Michael.
What were the monstrous things?
He couldn't talk to me, he couldn't tell me.
Then to whom did he speak?
Father Paul. About how she...
Joan.
Was luring him into the commission of obscene acts.
You're saying the girl lured him. If that were true, would that absolve him of guilt?
Are there acts? Are there not acts? Or does the Church no longer believe in evil? Or in the catechism, or in baptism, or in the renunciation of the devil? Or do we not say that anymore? And is it all a metaphor, that evil exists? And so I should let my son forfeit his life to the state, because the Church will not stand with him.
You say that this girl lured him?
Yes.
Why?
As a test, I don't know.
To engage in acts, in monstrous acts?
Yes.
And he told you of these acts?
He couldn't. How could he not directly? But I knew.
Whom did he tell?
I would have thought he told you. The only person he could tell. In confession.
He didn't tell me, Joan.
To cleanse his soul.
He didn't tell me, Joan.
Of course, you're bound. I know that, by the seal, but on the stand, if asked, to confirm or deny, anyone could, by the tone of voice, or invoking the seal of the confessional, plant a doubt. Even by your tone of voice, in the minds
of the jury.
Yes, if asked, say, the seal of the confessional does not allow me to respond to your question.
You're asking me to lie?
I'm asking you to support, through your reticence, a religious family which has supported you and your church to an extraordinary extent. Would you call it that?
I would, and I have.
And who can aid you to a much greater extent indeed.
I know what the Church has meant to you.
My point is what my family has meant to the Church.
Yes, I understand you, and I know the state you're in.
No, you don't. You only know my request.
And I am here to help you in the many ways in which the Church can be of service.
But not in the one I ask. Father Paul. Father Paul.
No, I can't.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But you thought about it for a moment just now.
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Because I'm a sinner.
And I'm asking you, as a man, as a friend of my family, which has been a friend to you, to do this least thing, to let the jury do the same. Do you see? To create that doubt which might save my son.
No. What you're asking is a sin.
Oh. How convenient.
You haven't asked, how do I pay you? Tea?
It's not important, Mrs. Charles, thanks.
Did you ask your friend?
What friend?
Mrs.
No.
She just gave you my name.
Yes.
You didn't ask the cost?
No.
And where do you know her from? From church?
Not from church, no. Is it important that I go to church?
Oh, no.
I don't recall her from church.
Then from?
I think we know her from the island.
And she mentioned me?
Long ago.
Have you seen her lately?
Not for some time.
But you remembered me?
She gave me your card, your number, some time ago, and...
Yes.
And I remembered it.
You remembered it, or you found it?
Yes, I found it, that's right.
Where?
Where was it, the card?
Yes.
It was a keepsake box. Why now?
In transitions, we refer to souvenirs. We open this old box or album, don't we?
Yes.
When we are stifled in the present, the future is unclear, as of course it must be. So we look to the past, to an old jewellery box or...
Yes.
What else did you find there?
A dance card, a communion card, a note. I found an attendance card from Bible class.
That you saved from your Bible class?
No, my mother came across it some years ago and mailed it to me.
What did it say?
It graded my deportment.
Yes, and?
I showed spiritual promise but lacked application.
And she found that charming, your mother. Did you?
I suppose. I don't know. I found it charming that she sent it, perhaps. I was gratified that she thought of me.
Of your spiritual promise.
I'll pay you whatever you ask.
You have great understanding.
What does that mean?
Just that.
An understanding of...
You understand that any good of any interchange between us must come out of your surrender of something, or call it payment, which is its other name, and you understand my questions correctly as a means to establish control, which is a form of payment, or, to put it differently, a price. But your understanding does not exempt you from the process, leaving you again with but the choice of surrender or the grief of yet another failure.
Another failure?
Which is the added burden of shame added to your grief.
Another failure?
Well, yes, you failed with your son, haven't you? And you failed in your attempts to help him. Many attempts, I think. Why would you come here first? Whom have you seen?
Attorneys.
Yes, and?
My priest.
Your priest.
Yes, and my husband has retained a firm that deals with that.
It's a terrible process, isn't it?
Yes.
The breaking of the heart. And we run here and there and call ourselves fools, running mad. What did you find in your treasure box? A letter from your childhood and my card. One might almost say this tragedy occurred to drive you back to those mementos. Why?
My mother...
Not your son, your mother.
Yes.
She mailed you the card.
She came into my mind.
That's an interesting phrase.
It's a commonplace.
Is it? Not that you thought about her, but that she came into your mind, but she's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
How could she do that?
It's a commonplace.
That there are two entities, one that's gone and one that came into your mind.
Yes. She's gone, and...
If she were gone, how could she come into your mind? What does that mean?
I said I thought of her.
That's not what you said. You spoke of another entity, which had the power of will. Not that you thought of her, but that she came into your mind. The most mysterious phenomena, you understand, we describe as everyday events. Do you know why? Because they are. We say, I thought to myself, but who are these two beings which we know exist, or why use the phrase? We dismiss possession by an evil spirit and exorcism, but what else is psychiatry? Or we locate our ills in the body and fast to cleanse it, to become pure, mortifying the flesh, or medicate ourselves or pierce our bodies.
But we no longer turn to God.
Yes, one can turn to God. You told me you saw the priest.
I saw him regularly.
Through your work with the church.
That's right.
And would you call yourself a believer?
I did.
You did or you do? Do you think God has deserted you?
I don't know.
You spoke to your priest.
I spoke to him regularly. I took communion every week. That involved confession.
Yes, but now you spoke to him now.
Yes.
And he offered you comfort.
Of a sort.
Could you accept it?
I tried to.
I'm sure you did. All right. You as a believing Catholic. Then or now it makes no difference. At one point, as a believing Catholic, as a good daughter of the Church,
yes,
accepted the most basic tenet of faith. You believed it as the ultimate truth, that something can be both dead and alive. Or what else is the resurrection?
Can you help me? Can I help myself?
How would you do that?
By... I don't know.
Are you sure you don't know?
The priest
yes.
said the comfort of God...
The comfort of God, yes.
...is the bleeding heart of Jesus.
And you found comfort there before?
Yes, but how could I accept it now?
Why not?
If?
It
was a betrayal.
To accept the comfort of God would be a betrayal.
To accept submission
to
his will
would be a betrayal of?
My son, Michael. Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it? It would be a surrender of my son.
God gave his only begotten son.
I'm not God.
And so you don't want comfort?
No.
Then what do you want? That brings you here, as you came here, just as you returned unerringly to your treasure box, which is to say, to seek out that which you knew but had forgotten. What do you want, finally, in a world which you controlled, if there were such a world?
I would want to make it as if it had never been.
And is that possible?
I don't know. You asked me if there were such a world.
Could you believe in it?
What is belief?
Shall I tell you?
Yes.
You believe, or believed, Christ rose from the dead. Is that correct? You couldn't prove it, but you based your life on it. That's what belief is. You told me you took communion and were transformed, as were the bread and wine. You took them in your mouth and they transformed you. So don't tell me you question the nature of belief, or the gulf between it and its counterfeit. Who treasured the communion card?
But one can lose faith.
But not the capacity for faith. What is the sorrow of disillusion but mourning for faith, which is just yearning for faith, which is faith? You were speaking of your mother.
Tell me how to say it.
And she came into your mind.
Tell me how to say it.
What is a mother's love?
Sacrifice.
And what can it not accomplish? Isn't that the meaning of the Blessed Virgin? And isn't your vehement quest for aid part of that love?
Yes.
The mother's love?
Yes.
No different from that of the Virgin?
Yes.
That primal aid, for certainly it's a pagan power, a mother's love, greater than a man's, greater than a god's, who'd sacrifice his son willingly, which the Virgin we know would not, which is why she's appealed to when God has failed. A woman's power. How can we access that power?
I would make any sacrifice.
In order to?
To aid my son.
You would do anything?
That's right.
Anything, any sacrifice?
Yes.
What would be the ultimate sacrifice? What if a power could grant, for certainly there are wishes so profound, are they not, we scarcely can frame them. What if a power could grant your profoundest wish, the wish you revealed to me just now? You say one cannot suspend the natural order, but how is the wine changed into blood, as you once knew that it was? But the power which could affect that cannot affect this, which is why we find you here. What if a power could grant your wish? No, you don't believe it? Can you come to believe?
I don't know.
What if you did? How could you come to believe? How?
Through prayer? Through...
What if a power could grant your wish to make it as if it never was? Tell me your question.
In return for what?
Thank you. Now, what are you prepared to sacrifice? You tell me.
Anything.
To whom?
A Manhattan apartment. A large box of flowers on the table. Joan and Alan are a middle-aged, well-to-do couple. Alan comes in from another room.
It was Father Paul.
I'm sorry?
It was Father Paul.
Did it wake Michael?
Michael? No, he's still asleep.
Father Paul, and he said what?
He called to thank us for the check.
The check? For what?
For the new building.
The new building. Well remembered.
He said he'd see you at church.
Oh, I have to go.
Where are you going?
Out.
Where?
It's a secret.
Again?
Yes.
I believe, and I told Father Paul, that you were, yet again, involved in some secret good works.
You think too highly of me.
For the hospitality committee, for your floral committee.
Oh, don't make fun of me.
No, I approve of you. And it's not trivial, the flowers, the cakes.
Oh, stop.
Father Paul said he'd see you at Mass.
Oh, and we're having the Jewish girl over.
Do you think Michael's serious about her?
I don't know. What do you think?
He's been seeing a bit of her.
She's very attractive.
I saw her parents in the lobby.
When, this morning?
Yes.
I like them.
Yes, I like them too.
She's coming to Sunday dinner.
Sunday dinner after church.
Oh, and I can't come to church.
What?
I can't come to church.
It's the Christopher boys' first communion.
Well, that's a happy day for them, but I can't come. You take them the flowers.
I take them. I'm not even on the committee.
Then have Michael take them.
Michael's sleeping in. Just take them to church with you.
I'm not going. I'm busy.
Too busy to come to Mass?
Yes.
Busy with what?
It's a secret.
Just drop them off when you take communion.
No, I can't come to church. I told you. I'll drop them off at their apartment on my way.
Oh, wait.
What?
You wanted to put this with the flowers.
What?
Your most thoughtful gift.
What are you talking about?
The crucifix.
What?
The Here, your father's crucifix.
Take it away from me. Take it away. Take that thing away from me. Take it away!
In The Christopher Boys' Communion by David Mamet, Rebecca Pidgeon played Joan, and Clark Gregg was Alan. Mr. Stone was played by David Paymer, Father Paul by John Pirrucello, and Mrs. Charles by Fionnula Flanagan. The play was directed by Martin Jarvis and is a Jarvis Ayres production.